If you're looking to increase your mobility, move better, improve your performance, or just have a new way of expressing yourself through movement, this video is for you, as I'm going to give you some rope flow moves that you can start using as soon as you have a rope. But before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel to get weekly videos on innovative and unconventional movement practices and methodologies that will help you and your clients, if you're a trainer, to move better and pain-free without creating long-term damage to your joints and your body. Now, at our facility, Gymnazo, here in the Central Coast of California, we've been teaching our clients how to rope flow for the past 4 years. It's something even our clients in their 70s love to use. So in this video, I'm going to show you 6 different rope flow moves from beginner to more advanced so you can start to use them and combine them together. Now, where can you get a rope if you don't have one? Well, you can email us at info@gymnazo.com and we can send you one. We have some great teammates who called Slush ropes. That's SLUSH ropes. She makes amazing ropes, and one that I'm going to be using today. You can also check out the WechMethod. That's WECK method. And David literally invented or kind of created this concept. You also do a little DIY with a climbing rope. So again, there's multiple different ways that you can do it, but the one thing that you don't want to do is use an actual jump rope. It's not heavy enough. You want to have something that has a little bit of weight to it. We're looking for about a pound or so. Now, the rope that I'm using right now from Slush Ropes is actually a little bit heavier than that by design. But you want something that has a little bit of a whip to it, a little bit of something else, a little bit something more than just a piece of leather or nylon or plastic that a jump rope gives you. So that's a big thing, is that you do want to have a heavy enough rope. Now the next thing is, how long do you want this to be? Now a typical jump rope, you'd stand on it and it should kind of go to your armpits. Well, this one does not even go that far at all. This one goes just above my hip bones where my hands would actually be. So I would say at least stand on it with 2 feet and get it to about your hip bones. There can be longer, there can be shorter, but you do want to have something that fits your height, relatively speaking. You can see that I put knots in my rope because this one was a little longer out of the box, quote unquote, and I shortened it down, and this made me feel just kind of like cool. Right at my hip bones for where my hands are feels like a great place to start. All right, so we're going to kick this thing off with 3 basic drills that are kind of the cornerstone of a lot of other drills. And I'm going to put the first 2 together and then advance those first 2 and then kind of put it into your first flow and then show you kind of a progression from there. So this first one is called an overhand figure 8. And this is where most people are very successful on. It's basically taking a rope and starting an overhand throw. Now, overhand throw is basically I'm coming at you like I'm throwing a baseball. Now, figure 8 is not on one side. It's actually on both sides. So my other hand's going to come in and join, and I'm going to get a figure 8 action. Now, the key on any sort of exercise is to get the spine to make this power happen, not just the arms. This is all arms. I want the spine and the hips and the whole, what we call spinal engine, to fire up. And that's basically taking your rib cage and throwing it through. Now, there's a lot of details on how to make this happen, from hand positions of crossed over hands to other hand positions to driving up and lifting through your heels. What I want you to focus on just right now is getting this overhand throw and basically letting your shoulders rotate and rotate. That's what I want you to focus on. Now, the next step up is actually taking this into an underhand position, which is basically I'm going to throw the rope at you first and then come back. So now I'm kind of, you say, rolling the rope backwards, or I'm essentially throwing the rope at you as it comes behind me. And this is going to be much more like walking, much more like running, much more like a gait pattern as my shoulders are pulling up and back, up and back. So it's going to lift you up much more than the other one kind of drove you down and forward, much like a throw would be, and running again is the opposite. Much harder to do for someone just starting out in their rope rolling game. Again, multiple ways that you can do that, from hand positions crossed over, back and forth. But again, this is just the basics for you to get a feel of what happens when you do an underhand roll. Now, the cool part about what I just did is I did 1 roll per side of the body. Well, there's a term called a matador that allows you to kind of do a double roll per side. And you can do that in underhand or overhand. I'll start with overhand first. As I go one side to my right, one side to my left, one side to my right, but I can do a double side. I can go 1, 2, and then roll over. 1, 2, roll over. And you see how the matador kind of term comes out as if I had a big red tarp in my hand and I'm swooping over the bull back and forth. What this does is it helps you get a deeper flow, a deeper roll to the opposite side with a little bit more kind of drama to it, basically. And I can do that underhand too, as the next one is. Here it is, 1, 2, 1, 2, and see how it has a deeper kind of scoop. I'm scooping the ground a little bit more. And again, the artisticness of this roll, of this particular throw, is really dependent on the person that you're going after, or what you want to do. Do you want to play it a little bit more tight to your hip? Do you want to play it up high? Again, it's all up to you as the artist of movement, where I'm going to be covering more of the functionality of it, or the basics of it. So here comes your first flow sequence. It's called the sushi roll. The only thing you have to add to it is a propeller motion. And this is very simple, just like a propeller on a plane. Spinning to the right, or as we call it in more basic terms in the rope flow community, I'm spinning to my west side, or I'm going west if my compass was north, south, west, and east, basically. So I'm playing this how I would be actually on a compass. I can go the opposite way and throw it to my east side if I wanted to do that as well, or throwing it to my right side. So I got to get a propeller going first, and then from there I'm going to transition and turn into an underhand figure 8. See, I pivoted through my foot. I'm going to come back to my propeller again, and then I'm going to pivot to my opposite side, and then here, as I'm on my east side, I'm going overhand. And it automatically happens because the position that the rope's already spinning in will continue that flow. Fantastic. Your first rope flow opportunity right there. Now, before I dive deeper, if you want more of a step-by-step tutorial on these moves and other beginning moves, then please click up here to watch another YouTube video we have called a Rope Flow Workshop, where we go into like an hour-long talk, demonstrative live event that we had in our facility that you can get much more detail on. All right, now let's jump into the phase 2, a little bit more complicated drills with our rope, but still from a very beginning standpoint. I'm going to teach you the dragon roll, or show you the dragon roll, as it starts on your front right foot. You can swing it to your left foot. That's essentially that drag piece. And then from there, once you're on that left foot, you're going to throw it to the back right heel, just like a jump rope would be. Then you're going to drag it to the opposite side foot, and then like a jump rope, throw it over to the front side. And that's where I started, right? So drag, flip backwards, drag, flip forwards. And what's doing that drag is actually not my hands. It's actually my hips turning to the right and to the left. Now, I just don't let the rope stop, and I'm in my dragon roll as I throw it to my west side. Throw it to my west side, throw it to my west side. The rope is always traveling to my west side. Again, from a compass, my north is my nose, the back of my head is my south, my left ear is west, my right ear is east. So I'm throwing the rope to my west side or to my left side. Boom, boom, stopping the rope, going the opposite direction. Now I'm throwing it to my east side or to my right side, but I'm just repeating the same process. I'm dragging behind me and then rolling and flipping my hips to the opposite side. An amazing drill. As you can see my chest opening up. I love doing this literally in my office after I've been sitting for a few hours, cranking out some desk projects. Just pull my shoulders back, get my hips into a little bit more extension. It's an amazing drill. But then we take it to the next level, and we're going to go an overhand and an underhand sneak. Now this is where you're essentially going to sneak the rope or the hand behind you while I'm still throwing the rope back and forth. You can see what it does to my spine. It takes me into much more of a lean characteristic. And I'll start with an overhand. So I'm going to go into an overhand figure 8 to start it out. And then from there, like I said, I'm going to throw the rope behind me and get that little bit of a kind of a little tuck. Hand goes behind me, you can see it sneak out. Hand goes behind me, it sneaks out. Kind of feels like I'm surfing a little bit, just kind of leaning into that board, into that wave. But it allows you a great little feel to get that spine to rotate and to lean. And this is where you're going to start to see a lot more different characteristics on how the body likes to move and feels comfortable, or necessarily doesn't feel comfortable. As I go backwards, my underhand sneak comes through, And this is a lot harder because you have to come behind me and then lift over the top. Come behind me and lift over the top. Come behind me and lift over the top. And boom, right over the top. Sneak over the top. Hand sneaks, lift over the top. And this is a great one because it actually feels, you get that opening up like the dragon roll, but you get that lateral lean component that allows you to just to rinse out the spine. I'm going to throw you one more at you, and then we're going to put it together into our last flow. Call this the cheetah tail. It's essentially a behind the back throw. And what's going to be an underhand toss. So I'm going to start here. And what I like about this one, it really gets you into extension. So I'm starting with an underhand figure eight, and I put it behind me, and then I stay behind me as I do a figure eight underhand, but I start to get that extension piece. We've got to stay tall, stay in it. And that allows you to kind of really pick up the spine, get that good extension piece, get some good kind of flow to it. You roll out of it, boom, and back to your underhand once again. Now let's put it all together. What if you were out on a beautiful day, feet are bare on the grass, just some grounding happening. You just start to kind of feel a little bit of dragon roll, and you're loving life a little bit. Then you convert on over to an overhand roll. You turn sideways a little bit. You get a little bit of sushi going on because it just feels good to start moving and changing your viewpoint. And then from there, you turn over again, a little overhand matador, a little foot stance. We can start to just feel how it just feels good to move. Then from there, now you turn around again, you're in the underhand. Gosh, you're ready for that sneak to happen. Just flowing through, already warmed up. And that's how essentially a rope flow happens. You take the different positions that I've shown you, and you start to put them in to say, gosh, how can I athletically move my body to produce movement that is natural, authentic, artsy, functional, and allows you to express movement in a day that all you need is a little bit of a rope. So I hope this video is helpful to explore more rope flow moves. Head into the description below to check out our rope flow course, where we break down the techniques, give you some deeper skills, better coaching than what I just showed you, and include a lot more bonus flows. For more videos like this that will help you explore new movement patterns, and if you want help to dive in a little bit deeper, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more and more videos. Thanks for hanging with me. Appreciate it. See you next time. My name is Michael Hughes. Cheers.